housing discrimination, but ban.
A not awkward way to come out. I don't know if there is one, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I didn't have a lot of friends.
Awkwardness is, you know, in the same way that communication works, it's a two-way lane. To have anything to be awkward, it's not necessarily just you, it's the other people around. So, that being said, make it awkward for them.
So I've never had a lot of friends. I've always had like 2 or 3, maybe 5 max. But their reactions were good. I'm still really good friends with 2 of the 4 people I was like close with in high school. The other 2, well, one girl we don't talk anymore. Like, she went to college in Arizona, so we don't really communicate. The other girl basically stabbed me in my back, so stopped talking. But like, their reactions entirely were positive. Like, I never felt any negativity. I always felt 100% comfortable around them. I still do.
What I came out as far as like a not awkward way to tell people of my preferred name and to tell people of my preferred pronouns, I made new friends. That's not to say that I got rid of my old friends, but I made a new circle of friends that all knew me as Ira, that all knew that I was trans, because, you know, I'm not always perceived as male.
I did interview 2 of them. We talked about different questions that they had. You know, I feel really open around them. So their reactions didn't cause me to doubt myself. If anything, it gave me the reinforcement I need. And when there was negativity coming my way, you know, my friends were that source of positivity. You know, they were the reason that I was just like, just keep going, don't quit, you know.
But so I volunteer on Wednesday nights, and where I volunteer, they all refer to me as Ira. They all refer to me as he. So when volunteering, we have these meetings on Wednesday nights, and everybody's welcome. So what I would do is I would bring, like, say, just one person that knew me before I was trans, and that knows that I'm trans now and all the pronouns that I prefer, but they still refer to me as Alessa, as that's my birth name. And I would take them into this circle. So the thing is if you have one person who knew you before versus an entire set of people who know you now, and in that circle, if this one person refers to you as she or as your birth name, the rest of them have no idea what they're talking about. So yes, it is incredibly awkward, but it's not awkward for me. I felt that as it was an important point in my life, I felt that important discussions should be had in person.
I think the easiest way to come out depends on the person.
So I would have these individual discussions all fleshed out.
Okay, because for me, like, I'm quiet.
And while I don't necessarily have a lot of friends, I know a lot of people and I interact with a lot of people.
So I don't like to be the center of attention. I don't like all eyes on me. I don't like people talking about me. Like, I don't care about bad way. Would you like talking about me or something I said, you know, all the time? I don't.
Having to explain to every single person that you identify as male, or, you know, or that you identify as female, depending on your situation, or you identify as none of the above, it's annoying. It's annoying to have to, it's almost like a recited speech over and over and over again, and it gets old.
Like that. So, and I like to have time to think about what I'm going to say. So for me, writing things, you know, is the easiest way to do stuff for me. But for other people, writing may not be their thing, so they might want to do it verbally. But for me, I would say write, just because
I kind of got over it, and so I was like, fuck it, and then I came out on Facebook.
When you write, like, you can get down all of your thoughts, you know. At least you can outline and get down everything you want to say, and then you can talk about it later once they've read, you know, your entire thing. Because when it gets to the verbalization part, a lot of people get emotional. You know, you forget what you want to say and you feel intimidated and all this stuff. At least I do. So I would say probably writing. I know some people have included like pamphlets and stuff. If they're coming out to parents or friends or whatever, they would like download little pamphlets about acceptance and all that.
You know, and that's the thing with Facebook. You're just saying it. You don't have to deal with anybody's reaction. Hey, everybody, I am transgender. I go by Ira now. I like male or masculine pronouns. If you don't like it, don't be my friend. Their reactions to my being trans don't exist. I was kicked out of my house the night before Thanksgiving in 2009 because I was caught making out with a girl by my sister. And so because of that, because of that, I doubt myself. And because of my upbringing, I doubt myself, but not because of their specific reaction to my being trans, because I don't know if they even know. Growing up, I grew up in a Messianic Jewish Jewish household, and that's essentially, it's the ultimate form of fundamentalism on a Christian basis. It's essentially Christianity, but with more holidays. I was constantly told ever since, literally from the time that I was 3 years old, that being homosexual, specifically homosexual, is bad, and that gay people turn into pedophiles, and that gay people resort to bestiality, and that they are so disgusted with themselves that to even have sex or sexual relations of any kind, they have to resort to drugs to convince themselves to do these things, and obviously that's bogus. But I didn't know that it was bogus growing up. And so in junior high, when I realized that I liked girls on a romantic and a sexual level, it was scary for me. It was terrifying because I identified as a Christian. I identified as a Messianic Jew at the time. So I thought I was going to hell. And I thought that being who I am innately sets me on this path to pedophilia and bestiality and ultimately, being viewed as a sick human being. That made me doubt myself. And the idea of going to hell was really scary for me, especially since I grew up knowing exactly what hell was, biblically speaking, and I believed in it. And that made me doubt myself. That was something I struggled with for a long time, for years. And so since coming out as trans, it's hard for me, not because I'm trans or because of the reactions to my being trans, because I don't know if they know, although I'm pretty sure that they do. It's my having been kicked out, my no longer having any financial support, my no longer having access to resources or education like I used to, since I grew up in a middle class family, or upper middle class. And that is scary for me. Being thrust into a world where I am on my own is scary to me, and it's not because I'm on my own. It's because I had plans. It's because I like to plan things out ahead of time, and because those plans, those my hopes and dreams, the things that I clung to the most as far as my identity goes, my major, my school, etc., those were stripped from me. Those were where all my friends were, and so my friends were stripped from me as well. That isolation can cause anybody to doubt themselves. And so I wonder sometimes what my life would be like if I simply wasn't queer. I'm glad that I am. I'm glad that I'm not like my family, that I'm not heteronormative, cisnormative, fucking bigot status. And so while I doubt myself sometimes, and while beyond a shadow of a doubt, I would have definitely had an easier life if I wasn't the way that I am. I don't know if having an easier life is necessarily a good thing.
It's not the trannies, it's not the dykes, it's not anyone who's not white, it's not the whores, it's not the fags, it's not Asians, Latinos, natives, or blacks, it's not the homeless, the deaf or blind, it's not fake cocks or chests that bind, it's not the fat folks or the freaks or any combination of any.
I didn't have a lot of friends.
That's not awkward for me.
White, gay,